Hi, welcome to an Easy Trader Update. This is Kim speaking on Thursday the 3rd of October. Okay, let's firstly have a quick look at the market. Then I've got a couple of reminders for you of some things going on. Firstly, the markets themselves. Euros pushed up higher here. One thing we've got going on for us is a bit of a divergence at the moment between the strength of this move perhaps and the price action. There's also some potential negativity in terms of we've got the monthly pivot, which is often hit quite early in the month, but not always hit. There is a small percentage of the time it's not hit at all, but there is a good chance it's hit. Now, the only thing is, it's not really a good time to have been short on some of these positions that are in there. Charlie mentioned how the retail market were getting particularly short and how this has been fluctuating around about. It actually dropped down a little bit at one point last week, but it's increased back up to near enough 72% short on the euro dollar. And you can see from some of these from this picture here, in terms of this is the open short position. So let's just scroll this down so you can see this is on our website. This you can find this, but you can see that the picture here, I'll draw on it for you. This candle, well, there's barely any longs here. I mean, they're absolutely laughing their heads off, these guys, these minority sitting here. Okay, some people have gone long here, expecting further upside. Maybe the wise ones, because when you're looking at what's going on here, what's actually moving here, and look at what's actually going on from the institutional side of things. And I mentioned this last week, in terms of the institutional side are buying. When I looked at it last week, there was a slight increase, but there's a further increase in contracts on the euro being bought. So it's increased. The volume actually went up a bit last week, and this was as of a date of last Tuesday. Bearing in mind that the market actually came down on that day, but as of that time, or that date stamp, the volume had gone up. Obviously, it's through the prior week. They've been buying, and the retail or the institutional side is saying this way, and the retail are hoping for that way. And it's who's going to win? Well, it could be a lot more pain for a lot of those retail traders, particularly these guys down here, sitting in the 133 area, 132 area. They must be they'll be getting margin calls at some point soon, I should imagine. There's some right down at the 130 area, but they may just be perma bears. But you've got this whole group that's starting to get short here at 136, and each time you see this hitting another peak of people getting in there short, there's a load of orders, sell orders sitting at the top here. And all the time you see all this happening here, you just think, well, perhaps it's going to push up, because if they're getting short, someone else is buying the other side of this. There's a two-sided market. Someone's got to be buying these positions, and you just think, well, are the institutions just buying this, get pushing it up, and at some point they'll be quite happy to sell when these guys have wanting to get out of the market. These guys will be quite happy to sell into these guys as they're trying to buy. So anyway, for me, the chances are we could still be running up higher. From a bigger technical picture, you just look at this huge wave here and you apply it to this wave here and look up the upside, and we're nowhere near for a 1-to-1 of this yet. Not suggesting we're definitely going to go for a 1-to-1 move, but there is the potential that we could easily run into quite a bit higher. Let me just put a Fibonacci extension on here. This works. Pop that down there. And a 1-to-1 move would see us right up at around 38 sort of area, just on this wave formation. So there's a chance we could see slightest idea of the US defaulting proper. We could see this run up. Now, of course, I think that's relatively unlikely, but you just do not know what goes in the minds of some of these guys as they're negotiating in the States there. And we could easily see a couple of spike days and run up to that 1-to-1 towards the 138, 139 area. That's not to say I'm going to go long and just buy on the basis of that. I'm just trading intraday time, so it doesn't really matter to me. But certainly the bias from a day point of view has got to be to the upside. Okay, very quick look at cable. Similar picture here, pushing up, divergence there on the dailies, but we're still pushing up. As I've already pointed out, we've got 74% or only 25% long. We'll bring the cable picture into play here, and you can see it's a bit more spread on this. There's fewer people initially, but it's just increased again. I think a lot of the shorts there fell off on the way up and probably bought back or sold back into the market. But for now, it's as I say, it's the same situation with the institutional buyers coming in, and we're just pushing up, possibly on a bit of softer movement at times. But we've seen a good shove up again this morning after a sell-off earlier. Okay, let's have a quick run through. So it's cable. Let's have a look at the yen. The yen was gaining on some reasonable strength here. Bit of a bounce this morning off these levels. Again, this could easily run down. There's a possibility it may get a rally at some point, but the way we're moving, that 200 to me looks pretty magnetic, and I could see us hitting that in the next day or two. At this rate, it could tie up, possibly not far off of these prior lows here. Just looking at two groups of lows, actually, let's get rid of that one. But these lows here may just be a bit of a magnet for it, even if it goes through that 200 maybe. But certainly that's where it's looking that it could be heading for now at the moment. So yeah, I remain bearish on the dollar yen. And finally, it's just with the euro yen's pretty. It's not such a euro yen. It's not such a pretty sight. It's a bit more choppy. It's hit monthly pivot. It's having a bit of a rally at the moment. Today it's had a bit of a move up there, put a reversal bar in yesterday. This could continue. The euro, as I say, is pushing up. The yen's has been gaining quite nicely against the majors, but it's possibly could weaken against the euro there if the euro gets a bit of a wiggle on. Okay, so there's the markets. Just a quick reminder of some other things on our sites here. So if you go to the I've just gone to the calendar site. Another article being released you've probably seen. Oops, if that's going to click on articles, it'd be good. You can see Charlie's put another article up yesterday. So you can click here. The old ones are starting to. I'll start putting some more old ones up here soon as well. Some previous articles that we've got. We'll pop those up there. Also, if you're a FTSE follower, the FTSE swing. There's an article here that describes how they work. There wasn't actually any new stocks to put on this week because there's previous ones still sitting there, but that's how it works if you're a swing trader. And finally, webinar. We've got the webinar coming up, part 2. It's coming up next week. Yep, this time next week, or not this time next week, but 7 o'clock next week. So you've still got time to register for that. And it's again, Charlie's just continuing his part 2 of how to turn 10k into 100k account within 2 years. So there you go. So that's next week. Okay, I'll leave you to that. Hope you have a great week. Bye for now.